Hey Irina, Daphne again. Thank you for sending your speaking. It's great to be working with you on this. So as you know, the speaking is marked on to pronunciation first, fluency, so that is how much you keep going. It doesn't matter if not everything's perfect, but it's just keeping going. So fluency and coherence, your grammar, obviously, and your vocabulary. So let's have a listen, and I'll try and give you some help and some suggestions here.
Hi, Daphne. I would like to tell you about a non-commercial organization called Habensky Fund. It is a voluntary organization which operates in Russia. It was founded by a famous Russian actor, Konstantin Habensky. Actually, he has even appeared in some Hollywood movies.
Okay, lovely start there. Really, really interesting. What would be good is if you could say immediately what it does. I know you're going to say what it does, but here I would just give the name, which specialises in or which deals in something, just so that it's very clear. And then you say voluntary organisation. You would need to use the word charity. We don't talk about a voluntary organisation. You volunteer for it, or you do voluntary work. We use those two collocations together, but it's a charitable organisation. Now, it was founded, passive verb there, was founded by. You got that bit right. Okay, let's go.
The first time I got contact with this company was when they asked me a favor to help them with their advertising campaign.
Okay, lovely. So that's all fine, apart from the first time I was contact or I get contact. So the first time I would say I became aware of. So the first time I became aware of this charity was when they contacted me. You've got a lot of quite difficult structures in there, but if you can get that right, fantastic on the grammar. So the first time I became aware of them.
As far as I work in advertising agency.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like about this company is that they help children with such diseases like brain cancer or leukemia, and they try to raise awareness among population that.
Okay, really, really nice stretch here. This is absolutely great. What I love is that you're speaking quite slowly and you're thinking about what you're saying. A lot of students tend to go very fast, especially if they're a bit nervous. So they race through it and then it's really hard to hear. But your pronunciation is very clear, which is excellent.
But these awful diseases are sometimes curable. So they place a lot of billboards and digital banners to attract attention to this issue.
Okay, yep, really good. Great on the advertising vocab
this
too.
This fund was devoted to the wife of Konstantin Habensky, who unfortunately passed away because she had incurable disease.
Okay, so really nice. You'd say to the, I'm afraid I didn't get his name, but the gentleman's wife, to John's wife, not the wife of John. Yeah. So John's wife, who unfortunately passed away, yes, due to an incurable disease. Absolutely.
I believe that it was cancer, but I think that he made a good thing to establish the company on charity
Yeah, you could say he turned this tragedy into something positive. So think ahead. You know what you want to say, but just try to think a little bit ahead. So he turned this tragedy into a positive.
To help children in her honor.
Brilliant. That's a really, really nice answer. Really nice. So at the very beginning, I would just be clear about a child's charitable organisation, or a charitable organisation for children, or for children's diseases, just so we know immediately where you are. Good work on those dependent prepositions, so the awareness of and dependent on, and you've got lots of that going on. Really, really nice. Your vocabulary here is absolutely fine. Use adjectives. Use these adjectives when you talked about, I can't remember, there's one point you used an adjective, but use more adjectives because they really help you develop your answer.
So that's the story.
Well done. No, that was absolutely great. So why do you admire them? Did we have that bit? Make sure you're going really clearly through this. But otherwise, really, really nice. Don't hesitate to use these little suggestions here. Adding the structure is very important. I know you have this as structure, but make sure you are completely clear in your head where you're going, what you're going to talk about next. Okay, let's get into the next ones. So here what we're looking at is giving your opinion, but in a more, what I call sort of general and global way. So we're not just saying, I think, which is quite easy to do, but we want to make this more sophisticated. So I like this, like, as you said, it's been said that, commentators suggest that, comment focuses on, a bit like you do in the task 2 writing, really. We are kind of distancing ourselves from it. It's not too personal. So here you go. How can people ensure work does not control their lives? That's very difficult at the moment, isn't it?
That it is very important to concentrate on your work-life balance.
Good, that's just what we want to hear. Brilliant.
Not to be controlled by your work, not to be totally absorbed into your work.
Right, lovely. Irina, your pronunciation is really beautiful, really, really lovely. You sound very natural, you sound very calm, you sound very in control. What I like here is that you use the word control and then you thought, oh, hang on, I'll use another word as well. Be too absorbed by, be dominated by. We've got all these nice passives, and we've got this combination of dependent prepositions. So absorbed by, controlled by. All this is complicated, high-level stuff, and you're doing it really well.
To your job. So I believe that it is good to switch off your smartphone after your working hours, and not to check your inbox every 5 minutes.
Which we will do.
So as for me, I try to keep this balance, and so that's all.
Yeah, I can see you're kind of running out. Don't worry, it's okay. These don't need to be too long. The examiner will, obviously you'll be face to face, which is much easier. So you can read them, they can read you. You talked about work-life balance, which is expand that. So what I would suggest is that turn off your notifications, don't check your emails, make time to, and then you can give a nice example. Go outside, go for a run, see your friends, engage in some kind of hobby, for example, cooking. I don't know, but use that opportunity to give some examples there. Do you think people will have to work longer in the future?
Actually, it is predicted that people will work less in the future because of the artificial intelligence.
Good. Okay, good point. So work longer in future. You're using these words. Let's try, if we possibly can, not use these words. So we can possibly say people will not or we'll be able to retire earlier. You could change it completely around. We'll be able to retire earlier due to or thanks to artificial intelligence. We don't say the artificial intelligence, we say just artificial intelligence.
It is believed that robots can handle with the most part of our job.
Okay, so that's very depressing. Sadly, I think you're right. It is believed that, I love your work on the passive. Your passive, the way you're moving through the tenses is excellent. But robots can handle the most important or the major. You don't need handle with.
So personally, I think that all these helpful applications, our smartphones, help us work less or even be more efficient.
Okay, so rather than saying what you think, you can go, it's already been demonstrated that. So more passive, slightly more disconnected, slightly more distant rather. So it's already been seen how applications help us in so many aspects of our lives.
At our job.
Good, really nice, very clear. You could give an example there, applications such as not only work applications, but applications encouraging our health and our fitness. Expand this a little bit. Just think about some examples, which apps you might use or which apps you think have taken away a human job. Just as a little example to expand that and develop that answer a little bit more. So how essential do you think it'll be for workforces in the future to be proficient technologically? Tricky vocabulary, tricky pronunciation here. Interesting question.
Even nowadays, white collars have to be very proficient.
Good. Now, white collar workers. We don't say white collars. We have to say white collar workers. Find me another word proficient for proficient. So a synonym here. Capable, confident, they would do.
Technologically, and in future, I believe that more and more job positions will inquire very strong IT skills.
Excellent. Okay, you want require. I can kind of see you thinking there. Require. Inquire, ask a question about. Require or demand. Either of those would be okay. Demand, yes. High-level IT skills. Excellent.
Like possibility to use different application, for instance, to make presentations. So
good, really nice there that you use an example to make presentations. You could say globally, online. Expand this.
The workforce will be more and more technologically skilled, and it will be more and more important to have these skills.
Yeah, good. Bit repetitive. Link back to your previous answer. As AI becomes more prevalent, more important, more visible, this will put more pressure on the workforce to become confident, to become capable, to become adept. We use adept at using computers to the highest level. Okay, so they're kind of connected, these two answers, aren't they? But don't be afraid to, or rather, make sure that you are looking for synonyms. You're looking for other ways to say it, especially if you've got a difficult word like this. Find a way around it if you're not quite sure. Okay, should the training that's available be more regulated? Again, interesting question.
First of all, I'd like to say that online education is on high demand nowadays. A
quick one, we just say in high demand. Yep.
For instance, in Russia, there are lots of online schools, and you can have an online training
Okay, let's link this together rather than you, a bit like in the essays. Let's keep it again more academic, slightly more distant here. So I would say plenty of online schools where it is possible to learn this, or plenty of online schools offering training such as in the fields of schools offering training. Keep it going rather than where you can find, which is a little bit slow. So use the ing.
In every sphere you like. Personally, I believe that these educational organizations have to be regulated.
Now here, I definitely use should be rather than have to be. I think this came up in your essay as well. Slightly different should be and have to be. Have to be is very strong. Should be is a little bit more of a recommendation, and here that's what you're doing. You're making a recommendation.
A government or some educational departments
Good.
to provide sufficient and proper content for the people who paid for this education.
Very good point. Absolutely. And just you could go a little bit more here. If this doesn't happen, add a conditional. If this doesn't happen, the students or people purchasing these products have no idea of the quality, have no idea of the guarantee of the quality, for example, or whether the certificate or certification is valid. So you can go a tiny bit longer on some of these, not all of them, but maybe just another sentence sometimes is great. But what a lovely start, particularly impressed by your pronunciation, which is just beautiful, really, really lovely. Could you possibly next time do the whole thing? If you're happy, do all of it together. So part 2 and all of part 3 in one recording. It just saves me jumping backwards and forwards the whole time. It makes it a little bit easier and smoother for you. Thank you very much and well done.